stream. Good to see you. How are things? Where am I at? All right, we're good. No, a little to the this way. Oh, it's got to be perfect, you know. Otherwise, things don't work on stream. It's really important that it's all lined up because YouTube is picky. Good to see you. We're gonna be building something today. Let's just start because we don't have a lot of time. Wrong button. That's the right button. There we go. Good to see you, dudes. We're gonna be playing. Well, actually, we're gonna be not playing. We're gonna be playing with Lego. That is 100% true. But we're also going to be watching a video about toxic friendship. Toxic friendship. That is the plan. Did this get wider? It did. How did that happen? All right, we're gonna be watching a video about toxic friendship. That is the plan. It's a counterpoint to yesterday's topic where we were talking about how to be a good friend. Right? We're talking about basically like what are the things that people need if you want to build a good relationship, or you want to build a good digital community. What do people need? And I gave 3 things that people need. They, being authentic and sincere, risking friendship with them, and a third thing, being sincere, wanting to be, proving around them, and then what's the third thing? Oh, remembering stuff. Remembering things about them. Yeah. And that's those 3 things. If you want to get started on how to be a good digital community maker or a good friend, that's where to start, man. That's where to start. We're gonna just point straight down here. There we go. There's no reason not to. There we go. That's not bad. We'll have, actually, it could be a little taller. Could stand to be a little taller. Good. Ta-da!
I feel pretty, oh so pretty.
Hi,
I feel pretty and witty and bright.
Nobody pushed that button for about a year and a half. Good to see you. I have more pom-poms. When's the last time I put pom-poms on? Good golly. Been a little while, let me tell you what. People should be excited about things more. And ennui is boring. Amen to that. Be genuinely excited about stuff your friends are doing. Like, just have an interest in general. Nerds have advantage here anyway. It's true, because we have usually a variety of interests, and usually things that are kind of that we're passionate about, to the point where we're willing to have a discussion. I think one of the tricks is just ask a question now and again. That's the easiest thing you can do if you want to get to know somebody. Get them to talk about themselves. People love talking about themselves. It's their favorite topic. And you're like, no, that's not my favorite topic. Well, if it's something you're interested in and someone is legitimately excited about it, then yeah, it becomes, it's flattering and it's nice, and it's something you can, you want to open up about. I don't lose my sticker sheet. That'd be crazy. Good. Enjoying the steam machine? Oh yeah, you did it. You bought a steam machine? Good for you. One of the few in the proud. How's the power? Have you hit a wall yet? I know that they've been having some issues with their OS. What they're doing, but they're Steam, so they work on it and they try to do a good job at it. Yeah, we're playing Lego today. That's what we're doing. I'm gonna put the instructions over here, and we're gonna open some boxes. So the plan is just to obviously it's all about us connecting and having a chat and all the rest of that stuff. But this is a number. I don't have to open. Oh, that's cool. I don't have to open all the boxes at once. That's nice. Nope, that has a 3 on it. That has a 3 on it. That has a 3 on it. And they're different fonts. What is happening? 3, 3, 3, 3. I was all excited there for a second that I thought wouldn't have to actually. Okay, what's that? It's this one. We're doing a set. Well, that didn't work, did it? We're doing a set. It's basically a boba tea shop, but like in purple, because purple's awesome. And we'll see how it goes. It's not a very big set, but hopefully it's something kind of fun. I just picked it because I thought it was cute. We go to Miniso when we're at the mall, and Miniso is extremely adorable, just wall-to-wall adorable things. So it's very fun. I didn't hit a wall, but fair. I'm coming from a Steam Deck. That's true. It's an upgrade. That's a very good point. It's an upgrade from the Steam Deck. What do you play it on? Do you have a monitor? Do you play it on TV? That's the thing, man. If you're just gonna play it on your old monitor, then why get rid of your PC? But if you're gonna take it to your living room, sit back and relax, right? That makes way more sense. I don't know if I should crack open this thing and all the way. Guess we'll see. That's the first set. Let's push. If you guys want to chat, we can totally chat. But what I want to do is I wanted to play this video. Oh wow, it's a little. Hang on. I think we're hiding some. No, we're not. Yeah, we are. There's some hiding. Ew. There. That's better. No, that's still not better. How tall are you? You're quite wide. All right. Well, there you go. Now I did it. Prepare to be impressed. I've never seen this video. I just grabbed it because it was a good counterpoint. It's got like 4.5 million views. So my assumption is that it's actually probably kind of fun. So let's, or at least helpful. So let's see what it has to say, and then we'll chat about it. So as I said, yesterday we talked about friendship and what people need in order to be their friends, right? In order to build a digital community, how to become a better friend, how to, what do people actually need? And then today we're going to be talking about what it means to have a toxic friendship. So we'll take this a bit at a time, and we'll just keep building Lego until the end of stream. Hopefully this will lend itself to conversation. If you have anything to say, that would be great. 4K TV, nice. The old monitor has been using the MacBook Pro screen for photo editing. Oh, sick. Yeah. Great for travel. But yeah, if you got the 4K, that's the stuff.
Are you having trouble deciding if your friend is a real friend? What do you mean by real, you may ask? Well, I'm talking about a friend who has your best interests at heart. A friend who is genuine with you and not sneaky. If you've had a friend for a while and you feel unhappy or that something's just off, it may be a sign for you to take a moment to determine whether or not this friend is a true pal or a toxic one.
I think the reason I chose this as a counterpoint to yesterday's conversation is because it can be really, you can be desperate for friendship and like lonely and whatnot, and it sets you up for being someone who is potentially easily abused or easily manipulated, and you may not notice, or because of your desperation, or because of your lack of experience, or because of maybe social disorder or learning disability or whatever, you don't have the wherewithal to really grasp that the person is being bad, being horrible to you. I don't know if everybody's been in a toxic relationship, but I know that there have been a lot of people online and otherwise in churches, a lot of church hurt out there. And it basically comes down to, I trusted this person. I thought they were cool. I thought they liked me. I thought they were, had my best interest at heart. I thought they were someone who was going to spend a lot of time with me or was sacrificing me, or I shared with them a lot of stuff. But turns out they were just, either using me, or they were stabbing me in the back, or they were, something terrible. And so I thought, you know what, let's cover that a little bit, because there is a counterpoint. Like, as much as we want friends and we want relationships and we want people to care about us, we have to be cognizant of the fact that there are people who are not awesome. And like the Jesus, when he was talking about wolves in sheep's clothing, his whole point was like, they're gonna look like they're on your side. They're gonna look like your friend. They're gonna look like they want to be what's best for you as a teacher. They want to be what's best for you as a father figure or whatever. And what they're doing is, even if their own delusion says so, what they're actually doing is they're hurting you, right? Their help is hurting. Their presence isn't good. And actually, St. Bear makes a really good point, and it's really easy to slip into the idea of being like, well, I'm because I'm hurt, or because of how I grew up, or because of the friendships I've had, or because I'm protecting myself, or because of a dozen other reasons. You can be the person who is actually the problem, and so and may not even know. Like, not that you're being a horrible person, you just don't know. Narcissistic, selfish, apathetic about other people's projects. Right. Especially in a culture that we have right now, which is very much about self-care and being you're number one, right? As in, like, if anybody has a problem, or if anybody has anything that they're doing that you don't like, then you have the right to tell them to get lost. This is too long, I think. Doesn't look too long, though. Hey, Jones. Yeah, and that's exactly right. We can become selfish because we get, so kind of into our own thing. And then we can get kind of... So it's good. Yeah, let's talk about it. The point sounded, we're talking about how we can be bad friends and not notice, and we can have bad friends and not notice. So we're talking about 6 signs that you have toxic friendships, like that they're not actually really friends, or maybe ways that we should look at ourselves, right? We should look at ourselves. Oh, this is really big. There we go. Ta-da. Yeah. Okay. Let's push play and see what the first one is. Disclaimer: if you can relate to any of these signs, please do not take this feedback as an attack on your character. This video is meant to be self-improvement guide for those of you who have been feeling a little stuck. Yeah. Or conversations we should have with people who maybe want to be good friends with, but we don't realize that they're doing this thing. Yeah, there's tons. Let's see where this goes.
Here are 6 signs they're not your real friend. Number 1, they don't show interest or ask about the details of your life. How much interest does your friend show in your life? Do they ask you how your day was? If they do they actually listen or look like they can't wait until they can talk next? A genuine friend is just that, genuine. So if they ask how you are, it may be polite at first, but if you have something to say, they'll be sure to listen and show support. They care about you and simply want to get to know you better. Here's to hoping you show as much support and care toward them too.
And so in that, they listen to you. Obviously, the number one thing that you need to do and be and all the rest of that stuff when it comes to any relationship is you need to be willing to have a conversation, and you need to be able to listen to the other person. That's kind of like baseline number one. Is if you can't talk to that person, whether because they keep stomping on your feelings, or they're the kind of person who's always competitive, as in, like, whenever you share something, they're always like, oh yeah, but like when I had that same feeling, but it was worse, or I had that same experience, but it was worse. Let's talk about me now. Some people just really suck at communication. Doesn't mean they're necessarily a bad friend, but it does mean it's probably a conversation you should be having with them, to be able to say, hey, listen, man, like, it's you consistently step on my feelings, or you consistently step on my conversations. You make it so that it's really hard to talk to you, because every time I try to share something, either because you're uncomfortable or because you for whatever reason, you tend to talk over me. And you know what? Some people have a hard time hearing that, Like, obviously, that's not the easiest thing to hear, but it's also something that if they are a good friend, like if they're a real friend, they're going to listen and they're going to go, oh, I'm really sorry about that. Let me work on that, because they value you, and they didn't notice that they were being, being a problem or being selfish or being whatever. They just were like, okay, that, I just thought I was, I was helping, or I was actually trying to be cool or whatever. And it just, I didn't notice that I was stepping on your feelings. There's a lot of people like if they that want to help, and you have to be trained as a counselor, as a psychologist, as a psychiatrist or whatever, to shut up. Because I think our human instinct is very much, whenever you see somebody that has, when somebody starts sharing, you want to say, like, I understand that feeling. I know what it's like to have that. I want to, be empathetic with you. And so you start talking about your own feelings, your own situation, or you want to comfort somebody. And then you start, kind of spitting out all the, oh, don't worry about it, it could be worse. And there's no reason for you to get complained. Oh, you're not like that at all. It's, that's them. They're dumb. Don't even worry about it. Like, the person often wants to get something out of their heart, get something out of their mouth, wants to be able to share the thing that they're going through. And in the sharing, there is healing. They need to spit it out. But if you're consistently stepping on their words and you're not actually letting them get it out, then that's going to be, they're never going to really be able to heal. It's critically important, not only to be someone who listens, but knows when to talk, or is wise, or has some kind of wisdom to them, but also is able to just, shut up when necessary. So this is definitely a bad, this is a bad one. Let's listen to it one more time.
Number 1, they don't show interest or ask about the details of your life.
So I think details is that's a good word here, because this is somebody who, when you're like, oh, I went to a thing, and they go, oh, that's cool. That's quote, not enough. I think you as a friend, if you're going to be a good friend, you need to recognize that when somebody shares something, they want to, like, if they're going to say that, they want to give some details. They want to celebrate it with you. I think of children in this case. Like, for example, if you want a life hack for kids, if a kid comes up to you and says, what's your favorite color? Or did you know, or I'm trying to think of any kind of question. They ask you something, right? They ask you literally anything. They don't care what your opinion is. They're not asking you to hear from you. What they're asking you is so that you can tell them, or they can tell you what they just came up with, right? Like if they like, hey, what's your favorite superhero? They don't care what your favorite superhero is. They want to tell you something that they just learned. So if you go off on, oh, this is this and this is that and whatever, they're going to sit there and listen. But it wasn't that they wanted to hear from you. They wanted to say something to you. So it's really important. And I think in the same way, not that people are all children, but in the same way, if someone is talking to you and says, hey, this is something important to me, or this is something that happened, they want to share. So ask questions. Ask questions. If you find, and this is a great example, if you find yourself always waiting to see what, kind of waiting for your turn to talk, and you're not actually listening because you came up with a thing to say. And I know that there are people out there that struggle with ADHD, struggle with, language things. And you're like, I got a thing in my head. And I just got to spit it out. Because if I don't spit it out, I'm going to, I'm going to forget what it was. Let it go. Just, it's okay to forget what it was. Be in the moment with that person and be okay with the fact that your thing just went away. Right? Because you're not there to contribute at that point. You're simply there to listen. You're there to be a sounding board for them because they want to be excited. So just be excited along with them. And really that thing you wanted to say, not that important, or it might be answered anyway. Like, it's not really that critical that you spit that thing out. It's a hard habit to get out of, trying to pay attention, trying to you be the one who's like, okay, I need to say a thing. I got to remember a thing. This is going to be clever. I'm going to sound good. Or I want to ask this question. I don't want to forget, and stepping on them. Right. It's a hard habit. I know that I've really struggled with it myself. Duke says, I feel like I make this mistake when my husband a lot. He phrases something as a question, but he really just wants to tell me something. Yeah, exactly. Like it's a subtle thing. Hey, you know what? Did you hear about that thing that happened today? Right? And then they go, and you're like, okay, this is the thing that happened. Yeah, that crazy, right? They're not necessarily asking for your opinion. What they're asking is for you to ask for their opinion, or at least they've learned through trial and error that the only way they're going to be able to share their side of things is if they put in a little bit of effort to listen to your thing. And so they're doing the polite thing of going, okay, I have to listen before I'm allowed to talk. I get that, but it's so important. It's so important to be willing to listen that way.
How much interest does your friend show in your life? Do they ask you how your day was? If they do they actually listen or look like they can't wait until they can talk next? A genuine friend.
That's hard to know. That's an interesting little point, because how do you know if they're sitting there listening or not? I think the difference is when they stop paying attention. That's why I'm super triggered by whenever my kids or whenever somebody is at a dinner table, for example, and is on their phone, like whips out their phone. I know that I sound like a big old fuddy-duddy, but to me, it's still very rude. It's still basically saying whatever you are about to say isn't nearly as important as what I'm watching, right? Or whatever I'm doing, or I need to be immediately entertained because you are boring. It's very, in my mind, insulting to the person that you're sitting at the table with. So like if someone whips out their phone at dinner, I will be frustrated with them. I'd be like, don't do that, because I don't know, maybe as I'm childish, but it makes me want to leave. I don't want to be here anymore. If you don't want to be here, I don't want to be here, because what is even the point if I'm going to sit here and stare at you on your phone? So I would say that if you want to know whether or not that person actually cares about you, is what are they doing while you're talking? Are they giving you any attention at all? Or are they on their phone? Are they wandering off? There are people, and I'll say it again, there are people who have attention deficit issues, right? And so for them, they're not trying to be mean. They have a thing that they're struggling with. But I guess the question is, are they struggling? It's like, oh, sorry, I lost you there. Could you say that again? Or you know that they kind of wander off every now and again. It's like, okay, you get it, but are they trying? It really comes down to, are these people that are calling themselves your friend actually prioritizing you? Or do you find that whenever you are connecting to them in any way, it always turns back around to be about them? Right? Like when I went over to their place, I wanted to talk to them about this, or I wanted to show them this game, or I wanted to play this thing, or I wanted to say this, or when we got online, I wanted to, this, but we never did. We hung out for 2.5 hours, and it was kind of fun, but at no point was I able to share the thing on my heart or talk about the thing that I wanted to talk about. It wasn't something that came up somehow. It might be a sign that you need to take some time to ask, is that person actually trying to be my friend?
Friend is just that, genuine. So if they ask how you are, it may be polite at first, but if you have something to say, they'll be sure to listen and show support. They care about you and simply want to get to know you better.
I think one of the dangers of this advice is you have to remember that they also have things that they want to say. They're sharing as well. So just because someone, is excited and steps on your words and stuff like that, doesn't necessarily mean they're a bad friend. That's not always the case. It could be that they're just as excited about something as you are. So don't write someone off simply because they started, yammering on about something when you wanted to talk. Because that's part of you being a good friend too, is you being willing to listen to what they have to say. It was to, like, if someone has a lot of mental health and physical health stuff going, anxiety, depression, trauma, disability, you might find that whatever you talk to them about is about really intense stuff that they're going through. Yeah. And it can be exhausting. Like, as somebody who goes through a lot of trauma, continuously and has for, a really long time, it's being my friend is exhausting. And so therefore I know from my side, I don't want to overburden people whenever they ask, how are you? And so I'll dodge the question, or I'll say to them, how are you? Or things like that, because I just don't want to be that guy who's always miserable. But sometimes people really, really do need, people are going through some bad stuff, and they're going through bad stuff for a while, and it doesn't get better for a while. You might find out whenever you talk to them, it's really, intense stuff. And if someone is in prolonged season like that, multiple years, it's hard because they still need friends, and it can be exhausting. That's exactly what I was saying, for sure. As someone who is exhausting, I know that that's true. I've watched people distance themselves. I've seen people pull away. I've had people literally say, I can't be your friend anymore. I don't want to be your friend anymore because you're too much. Watching you go through that is too much for me, so I don't want to be your friend anymore. Like, it's legit. G.I. Joe PSA, communism always starts with hate. Oh, I love this. That's good. G.I. Joe PSA, love that. Back in the day.
Just hoping you show as much support and care towards them too. Number 2, they're not reliable, and they're not there when you need them the most. Friends are there for you, especially when you're having a hard time. If your friend can't stop talking about themselves and their problems while not considering your own, then they're likely not a real friend.
That's a hard balance, because sometimes people are going through stuff, right? And in going through stuff, they you can be like, wow, you really only ever talk about yourself, but they really need to get it out and nobody else is listening. And so for them, it's like the thing that they need to talk about is so critical. It's so much. There are things happening in their heart that they just need to share. And it can be hard. But at the same time, if that person literally never, ever cares about your problems, never checks in on you, never spends any time going, hey, how did that go? What happened? I know you went through this thing, so how did the thing go? Then that person's probably not a very good friend. Based on this advice, you wouldn't be friends with someone who is dealing with that kind of stuff. So sometimes you just have to show grace and patience. Because sometimes we call them EGRs, right? Extra grace required. There are times where people just need, they need you, and you can't simply decide that you don't want to be their friend anymore. You literally need to, this time where you need to serve them, and that's okay. Now you're going to ask the question, if you're normal, you're going to be like, well, what about me? And how long do I have to sit there and listen to that before I'm allowed to be needy, before I'm allowed to share my stuff, before I'm allowed to talk about my own thing? And the answer is, it's hard to know. If it's constant and nonstop and the person never lets you talk or whatever, then maybe that person has become someone who only has one topic. And that has happened. I've known plenty of people, like, say, for example, divorced women who that's the only thing they want to talk about is their ex. That's it. There's one topic in their life, and that's all. And they're not going through something right now. They just have settled their life on the fact that this is the only thing they're ever going to talk about. And it ends up being, bad. And so that person either needs correction, or you could distance yourself from them because they're not trying to be your friend. They just want you to be miserable as them and affirm their misery that they never want to get out of. That's hard to know when that's happening, but it definitely happens. I think the sign is, like, if they do get healthy, nothing changes, and that can be something to watch for. Vulnerable narcissism. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. It's like, say, Bear and I are on the same wavelength. I feel like that kind of person too, always Mr. Depressed and don't want to be around. So I guess no one really has left my life over that either. It's on the other side of it, like, as somebody who is an EGR, like, it just requires much of people. I know I have to give people the benefit of the doubt and try not to stress them out, but at the same time, I just recognize that it's just hard for people. It's just hard for people. I still give them a try. My pastor this week was talking about church. How one of the signs of being a Christian is that you love Christians. You want to be around Christians. I sent him a message and I said, I'm the kind of person who shouldn't like the church, right? I shouldn't like the church because the church has hurt me a bunch, right? I've been abused and I've been, mistreated, like all kinds of horrible stuff by Christians, by people who call themselves Christians. And so, but I still have this longing to be with the church, want to be with people that love Jesus, with people that are caring for each other or caring for the neighborhood or whatever. I want to be around them. And that's a good thing. But it's, would be really easy to just paint everybody with the same brush. Distinguishing between friend who it really just needs care and a vulnerable narcissist can be so tough. Yeah, that's why you need to talk about, you need other people, right? It shouldn't like church either. I know, and that's a bummer, but it's kind of true. If you've been through church hurt stuff, it can be pretty tragic. But if you are a Christian, then you're drawn to God's people. That's just one of the signs of being saved. And even though it's hard, like, St. Bear was saying, sometimes it's hard to know if you're in a good relationship, a toxic relationship, if that person's hurting or if they're narcissistic, if that person is progressing or if they're, they just want to be miserable all the time because that's just how they live. It's hard to know. But I think after, you pray about it, you think about it, you get a little advice about it, you can start to make a pretty good guess, right? A pretty good guess as to whether or not that person is only, because it's the only thing you talk about. When you invite them out, they don't want to come. All they want to do is be miserable all the time. And it's time for it's for you to be able to kind of go, I appreciate you, but then you don't have to drop them, but you can distance yourself. Be like, no, I'm not going to go out with that person nearly as much because they are literally just trying to pull me into the muck. That's where they want me. Yo, it's Chrono. I'll be darned if I don't know why I didn't hear that alert. I know you guys did, but dang, man. Hello, Chrono. Good to see you, man. Welcome to the stream. That was weird. Why didn't I hear that? Good to see you, man. Where is my sounds? File, settings. Audio. No, that's it. Should be fine. Maybe it's just too quiet. Maybe it's just too quiet. How are you? How was stream? In the void. Yeah, you guys heard it. I don't know why I didn't hear it. That's so weird. I hate that. I fix things every day. I know you did. I didn't. I fix things every day. All day long. Oh, I bet I know why. The monitoring device is set to wave 3, and the actual device is set to... No, I'm still wrong. Also wave 3. I don't know what's going on. Not a clue. Anyway, doesn't matter. I'll just try to pay attention to the ding instead of actually getting the cool sound. How was stream? What were you talking about today, man? We're here talking about 6 signs of a toxic friendship. How do you know if you are a real friend? Yesterday, we spent a bunch of time talking about how to be a real friend. So the counterpoint seems to be how to know whether or not you're in a bad friendship. It was great. Dude, viewership has been going up and it's just super motivating. Oh, awesome, man. That's so good. You're, of all people, very deserving of it. You work so hard. You put out such good content. You've got a great stream, great setup. You were deserving of many viewers. Talking more about Sony going all digital. Isn't that wild? That's so wild, man. It's like, I get it from a business perspective, but in the words of, I don't know, some meme I saw, I don't know why anybody's surprised. Everybody in gamer land has gone digital. Everybody uses digital stuff, but as soon as they start getting rid of discs, they're like, you can't do that. And I agree. One of the best arguments that I heard was the fact that somewhere in the world, again, it's like third world countries or like less impoverished countries or countries that don't have aren't allowed to have Sony licenses or like Sony logins, which is apparently like 100 countries around the world. They have PlayStations, and the only way for them to get to play a game is if they have a disc, right? It also kills the secondary market, which I didn't think it was a big deal, but now that I think about it, if Sony is the only place you can buy from and it's always at full price and there's no such thing as a secondary market, then yeah, that's brutal, man. That's actually pretty rough. I think Sony's shooting themselves in the foot. All right, let's keep going on the toxic friendship thing. We'll start at the beginning over here again. This is number 2.
Number 2, they're not reliable and they're not there when you need them the most. Friends are there for you, especially when you're having a hard time. If your friend can't stop talking about themselves and their problems while not considering your own, then they're likely not a real friend. You may be actively listening to all of their worries in tough situations. I had to take the garbage out today. There were so many dishes piled up and they smelled so bad. Jason never called me back. My ferret died. Okay, the last one was pretty bad. So, I mean, be there for them, but if one day it's then your turn to talk about your worries and all they do is interrupt with a quick, oh, I gotta go. Or they
Oof. I tell you what, if they hit you with the, ooh, I gotta go. Yeah. I don't know, man. Too many people like that. I can't say that I've known many because maybe it's just because I'm sensitive to it. The people that literally just flat out ignore me because I guess I just don't have time for that. When you live in crisis and there are people out there that are just like making it obvious they couldn't give two fiddlers fart about your entire existence, then okay. I'm not gonna spend a bunch of time on you. You know, it's maybe I just instinctual at this point. I don't know. But yeah, that if you start sharing and they're like, I gotta go, dude, that's bad. And chances are they're actually trying to get something out of you. That's my guess. Is the reason that they're basically grooming you for some kind of manipulation later. They want you to feel bad. They want to guilt trip you. They want to use you for something, get money out of you, get time out of you, get comfort, get something, or you can become their punching bag because all their other punching bags left because they wised up. You end up being the only person they can go to because everybody else left, and then you're going to leave too, which is sometimes you have to do that. That person might need to have the only reason that they get right is because someone flat out says, listen, man, you only talk about yourself and it's wrong. And I don't want to sit here and only listen. So you're not going to be a good friend. And if they are a narcissist, right, if they're legitimately a narcissist, the immediate response is going to be, well, you never listened to me either. Just the other day I said, and I was going to say this, but you didn't want to listen. And they'll turn it around and make you feel bad that you weren't the one who was listening to them. And you'll be, oh yeah, I didn't realize. Well, maybe it is something. We should work on this. And then you'll walk away and be like, wait a minute. Did I? That's a narcissist. Just so you knows, if you walk away after being gaslit into being told that you were actually the problem, you're a narcissist, or no, you're having a relationship with a narcissist. That's just the truth.
They don't even bother to ask. Don't even bother with them. Unless this is an uncommon occurrence with them and they're going through something, then they're likely placing all their negative energy on you and taking all of your positive. While
there's nothing wrong with someone, needing your positive energy. That's a good thing. You want people to be able to depend on you and whatnot. But there should be some reciprocation or a thank you or whatever. And secondarily, you can't do this as the only friend. Like if you're the only one who's in their life and they're dumping everything on you and they want all of your hours and all of your time, you need to protect yourself, right? You absolutely can't let that be you can't be everything for them all the time. Just not possible. You'll crater. It's not humanly possible. And so if you're like, man, this friend is exhausting, it could be that they are literally exhausting. And it's okay for you to be able to step away and kind of go, I'm not going to talk to them for a while. Maybe don't tell them I'm not going to talk to you for a while, but just kind of say to yourself, I am going to distance myself for a little while, and I'm going to just tell them, listen, I'm sorry, I'm busy for a while, or I got to take care of myself for a while. So maybe we can chat later, but right now I just got to focus on me for a bit. And if they freak out on you, right? If they're like, oh, that sucks, I'm sorry. Okay, let me know when you're better. That's the right response. A bad response would be, you're never my friend anyway, and I can't believe it, and I needed you and you weren't there. You know, that kind of stuff. Then that is just someone who's going to continue to suck your life out like a little energy vampire.
While not bothering to give back. If you still want to be friends and sense there is something else going on, bring up your concerns with them. Mention that they haven't been there for you as much as you'd counted on. If they still won't listen, it's likely you're in a toxic relationship.
Yep. That literally just summarizes all toxic relationships, man. If you try to have a conversation with them and they tell you to pound sand or they argue with you because it's a legitimate concern of yours, like you're like literally saying, hey, this is a problem. It's hurting my feelings, or it's making me feel bad. Could you please, let's talk about this, because like you're saying, I value you. I want to be friends with you. I don't want this to be a thing that's happening all the time. It's and they're like, I can't believe you'd say that. Yeah, and that person isn't going to listen, and they're not going to get any better. Not without some serious, counseling.
Number 3, they're extremely critical of you. Some fake friends can be extremely critical of their friends. Remember, your buddies shouldn't be your biggest critic. They should be your biggest fan. Some friends can.
So I'm sure she'll get into this, and I'm sure that if your instinct is, hey, wait a minute, shouldn't friends be allowed to say things? Yes, friends should be allowed to say things. But if they're always trying to make you feel bad, okay, so I know people that are on this self-improvement kick, sort of. And what they really want is they want be critical with me. Tell me if I'm doing something wrong. And so they'll find somebody who's more than willing to tell them all the things that they're doing wrong and gets off on it, right? Makes the person feel actually bad. They are being a jerk, not trying to help, right? All right. Yeah. Okay. The person who is on your side and wants you to be better tries to do this gently, right? They try to do this gently. They're not trying to make you feel horrible. What they're trying to do is to explain from their perspective the feelings that maybe you're giving them, and that maybe you should consider, that there's something going on in your life. But you know what? You're working on it. I get it. And they're trying to be kind about it. A person who's getting off on making you feel miserable, they like the fact that you feel bad when they talk. And you keep going back because either you're used to that because you got some serious damage, like you're used to abuse, and you feel like that's what relationships are supposed to be, is always abusive because you got something messed up, because you got a bad history, or bad dad, or bad, whatever. Or you're trying to do this self-improvement thing and you've been just beating yourself up. And so to have someone else come in and affirm all the things you've beaten yourself up with, makes you go, okay, then maybe I am the worst. That is friends should criticize you. They should be a plate. There's one person in your life who's able to kind of go, dude, you don't shower. You need to start showering. You can't be this person anymore. You are, like it's a real problem. You need to have that friend. If you don't have that friend, then you're going to be in real trouble. But you also need to have somebody in your life who is gentle and kind, and says it in a way, and also is your cheerleader. Like, they're the person who, when you're like, I want to try this new thing, a critical person would be like, yeah, but you failed it the last time. Like, why would you think you could do it now? You literally suck at this, or you are a bad learner, or you're a bad person, or you're bad, you're too dumb. Why don't you just stay in your lane? You're just going to fail at that. You're making yourself feel bad. A good friend to be like, yeah, you know what? Try it. Let's see what happens. I'm looking forward to it. Let me know how it goes. How can I help? Even if like as a friend, that person might not be able to pull that off, you're like, dude, no harm in that. I want to see them succeed. Sure. Go nuts, man. Have fun.
Offer constructive criticism because they want.
Constructive criticism important too, not just you stink, but you need to shower more often. And you also, do you have what you need to do? Yeah, for sure.
Number 3, they're extremely critical of you. Some fake friends can be extremely critical of their friends. Remember, your buddies shouldn't be your biggest critic. They should be your biggest fan. Some friends can offer constructive criticism because they want the best for you and want to see you improve. They're honest, but they'll likely do so in a kind, friendly way if they are a good friend. If your pal is toxic, they'll probably just shame you rather than provide helpful critiques. If they're
That's a really important one. If the person uses shame as the way to talk to you, yeah. If the person uses shame, and what does that mean? That basically means like, they are when you walk away, you don't feel like you've been helped, or that person genuinely wanted to make you feel better, or had a genuine concern and wanted to make your life better. What you walk away just feeling bad. Like there's only bad. You're not like, oh, that hurt. Yeah, I get it. They needed to say something, or man, I didn't like it, but I get it. I'm gonna go lick my wounds now. That's different. Hey, creepy. What this is you walk away and you're like, that person just, all they did for the whole time is try to hurt me. And now I feel actively bad. I feel worse than when I got there. Not that this person was trying to make me feel better, or not better, but like make me cushion the blow, or was trying to give self-improvement, or was brave enough to tell me that. Like if someone came up to me and was brave enough to say, hey, that's an issue, okay, let's work on that. But if they're passive aggressive, or they're being an absolute just mean, you don't need to take that. You just don't. And you can confront them. Hey, dude, you're just being mean now. You're not helping. You're just being mean. I will say, I think the Steam Machine is definitely overpriced. Yes, probably won't be returning it, but because I got an amazing deal, $4 for Steam cards, nice. Yes, it is not worth it. I would argue that it's not worth it yet. If they could have made a better video card in there, then I think that it would have been better. But then it would have cost more. And RAM prices are stupid. If this was a year and a half ago, it would have cost way less.
they're a good friend, they may just give a kind dose of honesty and advice. Number 4, if they say sorry, their apologies don't sound genuine. Does your friend say sorry when they're wrong? No? Uh-oh. What about when they do? Do they
Say sorry when you're wrong. That is probably the number one. I don't know. Maybe I can't say this categorically, but I would say that's probably the number one thing to look for. If you want to know if you're in a toxic relationship, or that person is the problem, you simply ask the question, do they ever admit they're wrong? Or is that person always either right, or always has an excuse for why they do what they do? And the worst part of that would be, not only do they have an excuse, but it's always your fault, or it's always someone else's fault. Literally, it's society, it's the government, it's the economy, it's their parents, it's the school, it's the teacher, it's the timeline, it's the pressure, it's the doctor, it's the pharmacist, it's it's everything. They're never wrong. That is probably the number one thing to look for, to know that you're having a friend that's a problem.
Number 4, if they say sorry, their apologies don't sound genuine. Does your friend say sorry when they're wrong? No? Uh-oh. What about when they do? Do they sound genuine? No? Double uh-oh. If your friend is one to ignore your friendship concerns with a look of meh, then they're likely not a genuine friend. If your friend does apologize,
so there's a counterpoint here, I think, to be said, and that is, when we talked about why we're watching this, another part is how to know you're a bad friend. And I think one of the ways that you know you're a bad friend is if you're consistently criticizing your friend for not being a good friend, right? If it's like, I deserve this, and you should treat me like this, and a good friend would, and why are you You know, why don't you just believe in me all the time and things like that? Like, you only want obedience and positive and everything from this person, and if they don't give it to you, then they're clearly toxic, kind of situation. Then that's you, right? Like, you have to ask the question: Are you looking for a friend, or are you looking for a patsy? Like, are you looking for a friend, or are you looking for somebody who is just going to be like a lapdog, a someone who's only going to say nice things to do nice things for you? Because that's not a very good friend. Nobody wants to be that friend.
Apologize when they're wrong, but it's along the lines of this. I'm sorry you feel that way. Then they're not taking accountability for their harmful actions and owning up to.
Oh, I'm sorry you feel that way. Yeah. Yeah. that's so if you've ever seen like celebrity apologies, right? They're always the ones that, I'm sorry that you were hurt, that I'm sorry that people misunderstood, that I'm sorry that this situation caused this feeling. Not ever, I'm sorry I did a bad, because that would be admitting they did a bad. What they're apologizing for is your feelings, which isn't an apology. It's not an apology. Right? Yeah. Okay, let's watch this one more time.
Number 4. If they say sorry, their apologies don't sound genuine. Does your friend say sorry when they're wrong? No? Uh-oh. What about when they do? Do they sound genuine? No? Double uh-oh. If your friend is one to ignore your friendship concerns with a look of meh, then they're likely not a genuine friend. If your friend does apologize when they're wrong, but it's along the lines of this, I'm sorry you feel that way, then they're not taking accountability for their harmful actions and owning up
Yep.
to what they've done. Good friends can admit when they're wrong. They'll then try to work on correcting any negative behavior that affects their friendship. So, do you do the same? Number 5, they keep score on how many
Hold
times
on.
you wronged
Back up.
them.
Back up.
Why? Then they're not taking accountability. Friends can admit when they're wrong. They'll then try to work on correcting any negative behavior that affects their friendship. So, do you do the same?
That's the question. And that answers whether or not you are a good friend or not. Hello, Heather. Right? Are you trying to improve your friendship? Which is a weird question when you think about it, because you think friendship would come naturally to people, right? You think it would come to, it's easy to be a friend because I like that person, so I want to be nice to that person. So yeah, that should be easy. And if they're really hard to be nice to, then maybe we're not actually friends, and that's the problem. But the truth is that maybe your version of friendship, or the thing that you think is friendship, is actually not that good because you grew up messed up, or because you have people in your life that didn't treat you well, or whatever, and your version of friendship is messed up. And so when they come up to you, like, you're not being a very good friend, which is almost never happens, because I don't know if anybody has the guts to do that. I don't know if I met a single person in the world who has the guts to walk up to their friend and say, you're not being a very good friend. You know, I don't know. I can say it to my family, like you're not being very supportive right now. You know, like you should do better. Be nicer to me. But when it comes to actually a friend, I think a lot of people are just afraid. It's almost like the debt situation in North America, or I guess around the world. And that is how everybody's in debt. So everybody's afraid they can't afford anything. But so even though they're in a really horrible job, just the worst job with the worst boss ever, they don't leave. Why don't they leave? Because their economic situation makes it so that they literally can't. If they try to leave, they're going to be in real trouble. So they end up staying in a toxic work environment because they don't have a choice. You don't want that for your friendship, right? You don't want to be the person who is your friend you have to be friends with because it's your only friend, and you can't say anything because you're so worried that they are going to leave you, and so therefore you have to put up with all that crap, and you think you do. You have to put up all the horribleness. That's really it's sad, and it's also untrue. You deserve better. You really do. And there are people out there who will be nicer to you. Yeah, maybe you got to go out, get out of your comfort zone. Maybe you got to step into a place that is a bit, you know, easier or whatever. But like, just more people. What I mean by easier is like where people are going to be like more compatible with you, whether it be like a church or like a club or like a game group or whatever. You're going up to some place that you think other people are going to be able to kind of be like you. Maybe you have to do that. Dump that friend. But yeah, you deserve having a good friend. Speaking of which, a friend of mine finally started looking for work. His job found out, and now he's been fired. He was looking for work, and they fired him for looking for work. That's messed up, yo. Really? That's terrible. That's truly terrible. I don't think that's even allowed. Is that even allowed? That should be allowed. I don't think that should be allowed. The you're looking for work, so we're gonna fire you. I guess that just kind of shows that the person is, you know, that job isn't a very good job anyway. Because that person, the boss kind of sucks. I think in the same way, you tell that friend you're a bad friend and they flip out on you, then you're just confirmed, right? What the heck is an at-will state? That sounds like shenanigans if I ever heard one. This is taller than it should be. What is going on here? I built this correctly, but why is it higher? Oh! I missed a whole step. Also turns out that a job was listed on their website for months. Oof! Oof! At will means you and the company can leave without any reason at all. Oh. Well. They could just fire you? Because they feel like it? That shouldn't be allowed. Any reason without explanation. What an odd law. That sounds extremely what's the word? When you treat somebody badly because of their race or, you know, your opinion or religion or whatever. It starts with dis, and I don't know why I can't remember the word. You know what I mean? That sounds like you could do that a lot. Discrimination, that's what I'm looking for. Can't fire you for certain discrimination reason, but for anything else. Well, again, what's anything else? That sounds terrible. That's terrible and dumb, and I don't like it. Yeah, well, that's exactly it. Lack of law, as opposed to having a law. Yeah, bummer. Keep going.
Number 5. They keep score on how many times you wronged them. Does your friend hold a grudge? Do you hold a grudge towards them? Toxic friendships often involve one or both of the friends involved keeping score of mistakes the other has made. When you do
that is usually a learned behavior, right? That's something that you learned from your family, is that you need to keep track of what people do because they keep track of you. And it's not a nice thing. That is, it's so much more freeing when you can just exist and not have to worry about what other people are going to remember. And it's so much more freeing when you're not keeping track of what other people's, you know, what they're saying and what they're doing and what you're going through and all the ways that they're hurt you. Like, it's just horrible. What a terrible life to have to keep track of everybody's wrongs. Like, as a Christian, we believe in not only reconciliation and forgiveness, but like with God anyway, you know, he literally just casts our stuff away. Like, it doesn't exist anymore. Whereas with us, like, yes, we don't forget. We're not capable of just flat out forgetting. It's not possible. But we can choose to not remember. We can choose to not hold it against them. And if you have a friend that is consistently trying to like bring up old crap, you need to either talk to them and say, hey, listen, you gotta stop bringing that up. That's old data. I've changed. Or No, you haven't. Like, or you can kind of go, listen, stop being, let it go, man. And if they're not willing to let it go, it means that they found your button and they want to make sure they're able to push it to manipulate you into doing things. That's your button. That's the thing that makes you do stuff. You say, I don't want to move in, or I don't want to move your stuff, right? I don't want to help you move. Well, remember that one time where you left me, blah, 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 right? It ends up being a like an easy win for them. That's not a friend thing. That's not what good friends do. I'll try not to do that, but I definitely feel like others are doing that to me. Which one? The remembering bad stuff? It's a habit that needs to be broken. Like if you're the kind of person that is consistently remembering other people's bad stuff, you gotta let that go. You are the problem. That's an issue.
Number 5, they keep score on how many times you wronged them. Does your friend hold a grudge? Do you hold a grudge towards them? Toxic friendships often involve one or both of the friends involved keeping score of mistakes the other has made. When you do something that upsets them again, or maybe you're in an argument, they'll bring up all the disappointments and negative things you've said or done.
That is, I don't know what just said it, but like it really is a really, really bad behavior. If you're the kind of person who is consistently mulling over other people's wrong, you know what I mean? Like that's all you think about is the ways that people have hurt you and the ways that people are gonna keep hurting you, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then you have a list in your head, easily accessible by about people that so you can turn it around on them. That's a you thing. You need to let that go because it's killing you. That bitterness, that hurt that you're carrying around with you, that you're trying to use as a weapon or to protect yourself, it's killing you. It's seriously making your life really, really miserable because life is so much freer when you're able to forget that stuff. I promise you, life is so much better when you can just let that kind of stuff go and you don't remember it anymore. It is possible. It is possible. Yes, I have a terrible memory. I've been blessed with the kind of brain that easily forgets wrongs. They just disappear from my head. And it's a good thing. I'm glad for it. But it's also very freeing. I remember I've had a few things where I've had someone did something bad to me, and then like a week later or whatever, I'm hanging out with that person, and somebody says to me, "How are you able to hang out with that person? Aren't you mad at them?" And I'm like, "Am I?" Like, "Well, yeah, they did this thing to you," and I'm like, "Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm moving. I'm moving on." Ask forgiveness as I should, but I always think they're keeping score on me. That's not up for you, right? Like that's the thing is that if you don't know or they're not bringing it up and you just assume they are, that's your paranoid thing. But if they really are, they keep bringing it up and they're kind of being a jerk about it. Then that's not good. I'm gonna hang this down. That makes more sense to hang down. It's supposed to hang up because it just doesn't work that way. It looks dumb, but it falls off otherwise. You're supposed to be upwards. Now it won't come off. That's funny. Keep score because it's always me who made them do it. Right? But you know what? It's a terrible way to live. And that person is miserable and bitter and angry and just horrible. They are not happy people. I promise. And it's not worth your drama. It really isn't.
Arguments can get out of hand sometimes. But a toxic friend will tend to bring up the toxic scoreboard only when they're confronted with their wrongs. They'll use all the times you did something similar as a means of not having to apologize or take accountability for what they've done wrong. A good friend is honest and listens to the concerns of their buddy. While everyone can argue, a healthy friendship is filled with healthy, constructive discussions rather than toxic fights. So if your friend is acting a bit harmful towards you, how will you bring up the issue? Best to do so by having a healthy, open discussion so things don't escalate. If they
I think there's something to be said in there that says if you're afraid of your friend, then they're not a good friend. And it almost sounds like that's something that you shouldn't have to say. But if you feel endangered because if you bring that up, you know they're gonna this, that, or the other thing. They're not just a friend. They're or just not a friend. They're an abuser. They're someone who is making you feel unsafe. And maybe they've convinced you to hang around them. Maybe they've convinced you to do something. But the truth is that if they make you feel scared to confront them or to talk to them or to bring stuff up, they are an abusive person. Good chance they're an abusive person. And I would strongly suggest you distance yourself from them. Not because it's like, well, what if I talk to them about it? You need to talk to them about it with other people around. You can't just talk to them about it because they're not going to listen if they're that kind of person. And you need to be not alone because otherwise they will flip out on you and it will be a problem and they are going to hurt you. I'm telling therapists, I guess I annoy and disrespect psychos. Well, I guess it depends on whether or not they're an actual psycho or if you had just determined it so. Because that's not, it's not always true, right? Your perspective, as much as it's important for you to know, sometimes you're misjudging people. Hard to know. Also, I'm always told I'm better being around them. Oh, like they tell you that? Could be worth discussing what the difference between letting go and keeping boundaries based on distrust. I think the default should be if you feel a sense of danger when they're around and you don't feel like you can bring up anything, bring up trouble, bring up concerns, bring up your own problems or whatever. Like if there's a sense of fear as a result of what they might do, I think you need to consider that person isn't just difficult to be around. They're actively abusive and you need to leave. As a Christian, sometimes we put ourselves in a position where we're like, well, we can't leave that person. They need us. Maybe we can go be Jesus to them or whatever. And sometimes, yes, but even in like, if you look at Galatians 6, when it talks about, going and helping people who are in sin, it talks about people who are strong enough to do it, who have the spiritual maturity, who have the and then when it comes to like say Matthew 18, when it's the question is, how do you, if this person won't be reasonable with you, what do you do? The answer is bring some friends, right? You need to bring some friends. And that's because sometimes these people are kind of dangerous. Sometimes these people are really unhinged. And if your instincts are, I can't talk to that person, then you probably need to step back, right? Jesus, I love you and would die for you. Also, Jesus, you're a pit of brooding vipers. Yeah. Context. You need context, but yeah, exactly.
still don't budge, then you'll have to decide if they're really a good friend or not. And number 6, they play on your insecurity.
Let me pause with there and go, sometimes it takes time, right? Sometimes it takes a little time for them to come around and to figure that kind of stuff out. And what that could take is you stepping away. Like, is you legitimately going, I'm not going to hang around you for a little while until you figure this out, because you're not healthy and I don't want to be hurt anymore. And there's nothing wrong with you choosing to protect yourself. If they flip out on you and they try to accuse you of stuff, that's why you're leaving, right? That's why you're leaving. And hopefully when they start losing their marbles, that's the time when they go, oh, wait a minute, maybe it is me. But sometimes it takes a little time for them to get their head straight, to figure it all out. I know that nobody feels like they're doing the wrong thing. You know, nobody ever starts with, oh, it's me. I'm, it's always me. You know, and if it is, you feel that, you know, chances are that's more of a you thing. You probably have, you know, depression, or you have some kind of mental health issue that's beating you up. But it's not always you. If it is always you, chances are that person has convinced you of that, and it's not true. This is, I think the baseline for how do you know, like, is like, how do I know? Like this is all very confusing. You have to talk to other people. Like, go sit down with someone you trust, someone else you know, someone that is like a Christian, or like a pastor, or like a friend, or it's just someone who you know cares about you. Go talk to them and ask the question, right? Like, hey, when this person's around, or when I'm saying this, or when this whatever, I feel in danger. I feel sad, or I generally around this person, I don't feel very good. And if because that person might say to you, all right, listen, like, you say that about everybody. You have a problem with everybody, and you always feel bad around everybody, and you push everyone away. Or every time you have a friend, you find a way to turn them into a toxic thing that you don't like anymore, et cetera, et cetera. This is you, man. Like, it isn't anybody but you. I think that's that's a good friend that'll tell you that. Or it'll be, yeah, you know, that you don't deserve that. You're right about that. That's a bad thing. You shouldn't have that. They shouldn't be doing that to you. I feel that with one longtime friend. He hasn't done anything to me, but it's hard to want to hang around someone who actively displays their bitterness towards parents. And if they're a trigger for you, like they are legitimately being a, you know, nonstop grumbler. Nobody wants to hang around a grumbler. As a grumbler, I know that people shouldn't want to hang around a grumbler. It's a, yeah, that's tough. It's not easy. Not easy. What's dumb about this? Oh, no, never mind. I was about to say this doesn't have instructions. It does have instructions. I'm not paying attention to them.
And number 6, they play on your insecurities and make you feel unhappy. Do you feel unhappy around your friend? Insecure? You don't need to feel your most joyful self when around your friend. That's normal. And there can be times where you feel nervous or unhappy as well from time to time.
Yep.
But if your friend makes you feel bad about yourself, then this could be another sign you're in a toxic relationship.
That sounds obvious. So I'm just going to ask chat flat out, like ask you guys, what? I had to grumble. Then I want cookies, and grumble about not having cookies. Yeah, but that's reasonable. That's reasonable and logical. And I support it completely. So yeah, no, let me ask the question. How do you know? Like, how do you know? Let me play, because I've forgotten what they said.
They play on your insecurities and make you feel unhappy. Do you feel unhappy around your friend? Insecure? You don't need to feel your most joyful self when around your friend. That's normal. And there can be times where you feel nervous or unhappy as well from time to time.
I'm sorry. I kind of relate to that a lot. The zip your hoodie and pass out at the table. Yeah, I get it. So I guess my question is this: how do you know if you're being, you know, like, it's okay for you to be miserable or whatever, but they're actually like, how do they put it? They play on your insecurities and make you feel unhappy. How do you know when it's happening? When you're the problem, when you're the one who's like, you know what, it might be me. I'm kind of I'm having a hard time. I'm not being very fun. I am insecure, you know, whatever. Or it's them actually being, them being bad to you. How do you know? The Clockbot got confused about. Did it send hugs? I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. All right.
Or unhappy as well from time to time. But if your friend makes you feel bad about yourself, then this could be another sign you're in a toxic relationship. You shouldn't always feel on edge around your friend, afraid of their next criticism or harsh words. Maybe they make snide remarks or always hold themselves.
That is another really good. Oh, sent hugs from Uke to Uke. Oh, that's funny. Oh no, that wasn't Clockbot. That was XNB2. My amazing. Did that not? Okay, let me write that down. Just make sure I fix that. Fix the hug command. I imported everything over to Lumia, which caused some issues. Fix hug command. I can't even fix the YouTube command. It's something really broken. I can use all the commands, but if I use the YouTube command, it doesn't work. It just says no. Sorry, I can't remember what I was going to say. My brain is totally pudding.
Number 6. They play on your insecurities and make you feel unhappy. Do you feel unhappy around your friend? Insecure? You don't need to feel your most joyful self when around your friend. That's normal. And there can be times where you feel nervous or unhappy as well from time to time. But if your friend makes you feel bad about yourself, then this could be another sign you're in a toxic relationship.
That is such a it should seem obvious, but it's not, because some people, narcissists for example, are so adept at making you feel like it's your fault, it's your problem, you're the one who's causing the issue, and you walk away like actually apologizing to them all the time for how horrible you are, right? Like it's just like, Mal, I'm so lucky that they remain to be my friend because I'm such a terrible person, kind of thing. There are people out there that are so good at making you feel like it's your fault and your problem that they are actually that you won't know. You won't know. I know that there have been people that have been in a relationship with folks who just, no matter what they say, the other person is masterfully able to turn it around and go, but actually, here's why it's you. It's hard to point out, but if you're consistent, I think, and I know feelings lie. That's an important thing to recognize. Feelings do lie, but if you're consistently feeling bad around that person, right, you need to have the courage to step away. And it does take courage. It's not just an automatic thing that you'd be able to go, oh, I don't need a friend today. Who needs a friend? Like, it's just, it's not automatic. Maybe you need to be, to have a, like, you're so desperate for friends, you're willing to put up with ones that are kind of that are super mean to you. That's not good either. Try to avoid after seeing the crazy smile and you like that. Ha ha ha. I think that's another one, right? They don't have to like what you like all the time, and actually really good friends won't, right? Like if you have a really good friend, it doesn't mean you are 100%, 10 out of 10, always on the same page, always liking the same thing. You can not like whatever that, a game, and they can like the game, and you can not like your, that sports team, and they can not like your sports team. And that's okay. In fact, it makes for a better friendship if they're both able to be around each other and have difference of opinion, and it makes it fun. It's because that gives you a bit of rivalry, gives you something to talk about, gives you some memories, gives you something to riff about. It's a good thing that if you have some differences. However, if that person is unable to handle that you have differences, and they're consistently making you feel bad that you aren't like on board with them, and they're like, no, you're stupid for liking that. You're an idiot for liking that. You shouldn't like that. Only stupid people like that. What's wrong with you? Like really being just the worst. That's not normal. That's not normal. It should be that when you're hanging out with this person, that they are, that the ribbing, the fun, the excitement, the silliness or whatever, it's both ways. And they've said some stuff and maybe it went a little too far one time, but it wasn't meant to make you feel bad. It was because you have a difference of opinion, and that's okay.
You shouldn't always feel on edge around your friend, afraid of their next criticism or harsh words. Maybe they make snide remarks, or always
You shouldn't feel on edge around your friend. That is probably another one. Like that's a feeling thing, but it's very true. It's same thing with, I would say, with your church. I would say with your family. I'd say with your boyfriend, with your wife, with your everybody. Right? It's you shouldn't feel bad all the time around that person. And if you're always feeling a little bit bad all the time around that person, right? You're with them and you have to be around them, or they, they live in your house, or you go to that church and whatever. If you're all like, you have to take some time and go, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm in a place that I keep going to that's people hurt me and I shouldn't go there anymore. Right? I need to pull myself out of this relationship, pull myself out of this friendship, pull myself out of this church. Maybe I need to step back and take a break from this relationship in my life, because there's something, I always feel bad. You guys know my story about kind of how I treated myself in churches. I'm the one that stayed. So I have this story, this sort of history of being the guy who, when he went to go pastor a church, the church was toxic, the church was a mess, it had real issues. It was, the two of them were actually like abusive churches, and I stayed. Now, every pastor before me, like as in like sometimes 3 or 4 pastors only stayed for less than 2 years, or like 2 years, and all they were like, this place is nuts, I'm out of here. I stayed. Thing is, when I stayed, it almost killed me. It was the hardest thing, because they were really, really, really mean. And so I had people in my life that were like, you shouldn't be there anymore. Those guys are really, 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 really bad to you. And I would say, well, I don't feel like it's my time to go yet. But I'm the exception, I think. I think if you're the kind of person, or if you're in a relationship with the kind of person who's always making you feel bad, or you're going to a church and always make you feel bad, or you're in a relationship that's always making you feel bad, you need to step back and protect yourself. Like, I was the pastor. I was paid to be there. I was supposed to be the most mature spiritual person in the building and walking through stuff to be able to help them. That's a unique situation that I was in, and that I most people aren't. If you are in a place where you feel bad and they're making you feel bad and it always feels bad, step away. Take some time and step away. Just be like, I'm not going to be here for a while, because I think one of the hard parts about saying that, and I know that this is true, that is, it's hard to know where to go. And I wish I could answer your question as to, okay, I'm in a bad place and I don't want to be here anymore. What do I do? I don't know. I look into it. That's all I can say, is look into it, because I legitimately can't tell you. I can't tell you where to go. It's different in every state, it's different in every country, different in every city, different in every town. But there is somewhere.
always hold themselves in higher regards to you. A toxic friend may play on your insecurities to make themselves feel better. Both needs should be met in a friendship without hurting the other.
That's narcissism. If they're making you, if they're always bringing up how bad, dumb, whatever your mistakes or whatever, it's probably because they have a real bad insecurity. Like they themselves feel insecure, and they just want you to feel bad as well. Yeah, you shouldn't feel bad around friends.
Or making them feel unhappy. Take note of how you feel after each interaction with them. Next time you hang out with them, you may have had a few fun moments, but do you come home feeling discouraged, humiliated, or insecure? Is this because of some?
So you can ask my friends, and they will tell you that one of the ways that I show friendship, or that I like you, is because I rip. I grew up. I have a family now. I grew up in a family, and sports and all that stuff. And part of it was, you trash talk. Trash talk was like our love language, and it it was totally fine around certain people. In my house, we trash talk all the time. And we've said, like, because we went to other people's houses and they couldn't handle the trash talk. Yes, exactly. All of us project our heart conditions for sure. That was ribbon disturbing behavior, though they know about it and I don't. Like Ninja's talking to a teen who likes anime and getting shamed. I guess I grew up around psychos. Yeah, that's, again, it's hard to know what reality and good is like. You know, you just don't know. I don't know why I got called out like that. I didn't do it on. I usually mute myself when I do that. But I do. So yeah, it's we rib on each other a lot, right? It's a lot in our house. We made a mistake in the past where we actually brought some of that energy over to a friend's house. And when we were playing board games, we were as mean to them as we usually are to each other, and it hurt their feelings. Like they thought we really didn't like them. And so we apologized, and we just learned you can't treat normies the way that we treat each other. They just can't handle it. They don't have that. And that's okay, because we're a pretty high level of high intensity, but we know that, at least we know that we're not being mean to each other. So there are times that you're going to bump into a friend that is, their love language is teasing. And that either means that you have to be honest with them and say, hey, I'm not much of a teaser and my feelings are getting hurt, or you need to adapt and go, you know what? I need to make my feelings get hurt less, because they actually aren't being mean to me. This is just, they're just teasing me. But there is a balance. There's some point at which it turns over from teasing to be they're being actually mean to you. How do you know what that is? That's a tough one as well. Like, I think it comes down to intention. Is the person willing to apologize? Will they take criticism if you say, hey man, that was too far, and they don't, walk it back a little bit, kind of thing? I think then that you're not the priority. They actually are trying to, they're using you to make themselves feel better, so that they can find an easy target to make feel bad because they are a jerk. That's possible.
And feel unhappy. Take note of how you feel after each interaction with them. Next time you hang out with them, you may have had a few fun moments, but do you come home feeling discouraged, humiliated, or insecure? Is this because of something they frequently say or do? If so, it may just be that you have a toxic friend. So do you see any of these signs in your friendships? It's best to either openly discuss these concerns with them or think about letting them go as a friend. Do you see these signs in your...
That's not easy. I guess that's a good question to ask. We've already kind of shared, some people have been like, yeah, I think I have those kind of friends in my life. It's hard to know, and it's hard to confront. But I guess we can kind of say, what about you? Do you feel like maybe you have some of this in you? I know for me, it's I've tried to work on this, and definitely the ribbing thing. But my big error when it comes to how to be a friend is simply walking away. I just don't hang around anymore. It's just not there. And I know that, then it's like, well, nobody cares. Well, when's the last time you checked in on anybody else? Right? So I think that's that's not in the video, but I think it is one that we talked about on Monday, right? But there's a question, like, do you see any of this in you?
So do you see any of these signs in your friendships? It's best to either openly discuss these concerns with them or think about letting them go as a friend.
Hard to do. Really, really hard to do. Like, you make it sound easy, and you make it say, oh, just stop being friends with them. Stop being in that relationship. Break up with that boyfriend, girlfriend. Stop going to that group. Stop going to that church. Stop talking to that. It's really hard. If you're the kind of person who is, generally lonely or is struggling with making friends or struggling with having relationships, and you finally do get a relationship, like they actually are there for you, and when you call, they do show up, and maybe you don't feel the best, but they, like, it's the best you've got right now. having the choice between being in a toxic relationship and being one where you or not having friends. Sometimes you'll choose the toxic one. Like, and the hard part is respecting yourself enough to be able to go and trusting that you don't have to live in toxic relationships. And if you go somewhere and you ask God, like, can I get a better friend? And is there a place to go? And having the willingness to stand up for yourself. Part of it, I think there is a sense, and this is a dangerous thing to say, but there is a sense that you bring it on yourself when you go looking for friends that are always sort of bad for you. You know what I mean? Like it's like there are women out there who are they are always in abusive relationships because the only kind of relationship they have ever been in and the only one they kind of understand is toxic ones. And so therefore they go from toxic relationship to toxic relationship. And in fact, if they meet a quote unquote, good person, good guy, whatever, they don't handle it well because it's not what they were before. They get suspicious and they wonder why this person is, I've seen a bunch of memes online where it's like women or, who are in toxic relationships actually find a good guy. And she's like, yeah, grab my, the one I remember is like, this guy's like, yeah, just grab my phone. Go ahead and order or whatever. Go take a look and here's my code. And the person's like, did you just tell me your code? Like that's just the wildest thing to them because the relationship they were in before had so much secrecy and so much like terribleness that the idea of holding the other person's phone was, categorically impossible. And yet there they are. Having this so it's for them it's just weird. I'm trying to think of the one that I saw that was toxic. It was actually really good. Let's see if I can find it. I'm gonna go to my history and look for the word toxic. Probably the right one. When you're used to a toxic relationship, I don't know how. I never look at the titles. So he keeps forgetting my password, so I told him to make his face the second one and unlock it. Is this it? No. It was a really good one. Maybe that'll be close. Let's try it.
Your phone keeps buzzing.
Can you check it for me? I'm putting dishes away.
You want me to check your phone for you?
Yeah, my passcode's 3457. Who is it?
Not the best. There was a better one, but you get my point, right? You get my point. It is there are people who are so used to toxic stuff they don't know when it's healthy. So great solution. I tried to get a previous boyfriend to put one of his fingerprints on there, but he doesn't like bionics, so I made my password his. He doesn't like bionics. It's so funny. But yeah, I get it. At least it was a compromise. I don't know. I'm not paranoid enough, I guess. Also remember at my dad's store, my cousin and employees gathered around a smaller guy laughing at running from persecution, and the guy is an online pastor now. Hey man, you wanna drive someone into being a really good counselor to get, put him through some horrible stuff. That's just it's the passage. It's the rite of passage for any counselor or anybody who wants to have a viable ministry to be able to you got to go through some stuff. You got to have some mean people in your life. so that you can relate to others.
Do you see these signs in yourself? If so, know that change is possible. Work towards correcting any negative behavior you recognize in yourself. It may just be a small step you have to take first.
Yeah,
Then,
it's huge.
when you recognize and
It is absolutely huge when you have someone that you can trust. Living tiptoeing around all the time everywhere is exhausting. It's absolutely exhausting. It just feels terrible when you're consistently and always waiting for the shoe to drop, you know, waiting for bad things to happen, waiting for whatever. It feels terrible. Oh, they're on the wrong side. That's why I got it wrong. Yeah, I get it. I get it. And it just hurts so bad when you're just like, I just want someone that I can open up to, and I know it's not going to be a problem, and I don't have to guard myself, and I don't have to be on edge, and I know they're not going to use it against me, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, for sure. My first marriage was in fight or flight. The entire marriage, yeah. And it's exhausting, and it wears away at your body. That's, I think, one thing that people don't really recognize is that how much it chews up and spits out your actual body to go through that kind of pressure.
and genuinely apologize for your wrongdoing, a small step you have to take first. Then, when you recognize and genuinely apologize for your wrongdoing, your friendship may have a good chance to get back on track. Sooner or later, you may get back to a real friendship. We hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to click the like button and share it with your real friends.
That was a good video, actually. Very cool. Extremely cool. That was a good video. I'll turn on some music. I've never seen a video from Psych to Go, but that was some good animation. I'll give them that. Best way into trauma I experienced still causes me issues today. Oh yeah. Like, I don't know if people can really recognize how unless you've been through trauma, like you've really been through some bad stuff, you don't recognize how long it sticks with you. There's a book, I probably should read it because it's been recommended to me multiple times, called The Body Remembers. And it's basically about how you as a human, your brain can forget trauma. Like we're actually pretty good at like getting through trauma. Like we can go through a lot of bad stuff, but our body will remember. I think my brother's the only person I trust completely. And it's hard to find somebody to trust completely. It really is. But yeah, it's very, very difficult to find that. And it's very difficult to get over and choose to trust again. Like it's really, really, really hard to do. You want to be the person who is willing to trust and willing to, you know, be cool, but every instinct in you is just screaming, no, don't trust that person. They're gonna hurt you again, just like the last person. Remember the last person did that? It was just the worst, and they're gonna do it again, and run, like just nonstop all the time. Took me a long time to trust my husband. I was so sure he was gonna hurt me like all the others. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's just how it works. I have the same problem at church, right? I love my church. I love my pastor. I sent him a message just this week saying how thankful I am that he's such a great pastor. And the truth is that I still struggle with trying to get into some kind of relationship with the people at church. And it's because of all the past church stuff. Like, I like my pastor, he's cool. I like my other pastor, he's cool. But the idea of going to a small group and opening up again, that right now, even years later, it feels like a bridge too far. Why does he love me? Does he really love me? Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, that's a painful thought, because you don't want to hurt the person either, right? Like, you're not trying to be rude. It's your own stupid baggage that you're dealing with. You try to explain that. It's not you. It's my subconscious that doesn't like you. What do I do with that? I don't know. Been through too much crime and injury and always told we're being weak because it happens to everybody. I learned to sit and play video games until I had something helpful to do. That's better than freaking out. There are worse things in the world than minding your own business. That's been an incredible patience. I think that's important, like literally every relationship. If it doesn't have patience, like if you're not able to be patient, then you're not ready for a relationship. Because everybody is difficult. Everybody. All the time, forever. So it's a matter of taking the time to kind of go, okay, if everybody is difficult, then I guess I'm going to have to learn how to deal with them. Because if you're like, I'm only going to deal with people who are never ever difficult, you're just going to be alone all the time. Nobody doesn't have issues. Even me. Maybe especially me. I got a lot of damage, so therefore being my friend is can be a bit of a chore. Everyone, I'm difficult. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. And recognizing when you are being difficult, like when you're literally the one who's like, yeah, that's probably on me. Walk it back, apologize, etc., etc. Oh, I did that wrong. I have the perspective, our trials are good enough, don't need any more. That's what everybody thinks, right? Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm good. I don't need any more trouble. Thanks. That's how I was treating him because of my past issues of PTSD. I have therapists help me with it. So I'm better with how I treat him now. It's hard on the guy, or I guess the person, whoever the other person is, to when you're being nice and you're being cool, or you're trying to share or be healthy, and that other person just isn't, like, not because they don't want to be, but just because they can't. And you're like, this is how it's supposed to go. I share my thing with you, you share your thing with me, or I hurt, so therefore you comfort me, and then you hurt, so I comfort you. And yet somehow that's not how the math is working right now, and it's, I don't know what to do about that. It's very difficult. Because you're still human. You want to be cared for. You want people to step in and care for you. And it's not easy to, you can't just tell somebody, right? You have to listen to me. You have to care for me. Do it now. It just doesn't work. So yeah, I'm glad you went into counseling, because I think that's sometimes the only way it can actually, anything can ever change. Might be record brain cell. Just send. You sent the brain cell. Yeah, as long as we're sharing, as long as everybody's sharing, then we'll be fine. I didn't realize how I was acting. I realized that I think, and the closer I get to God, the Holy Spirit revealed it to me. I don't want to be unkind and mean, admitting I was figuring out how to do better. Talked about it recently. Yeah, that's good. I'm glad. That's a good thing. Yep. And if you feel that conviction, that's a good thing. It means that God's working on you. Guess we kind of learn that love is conditional, which is humans. Yeah, it's a given, but it also hurts that people who say that they try to be Christ-like end up making love very conditional. Humans are, we all want to protect ourselves, right? And so therefore we're all looking, either we're looking for somebody and we're willing to compromise ourselves, or we are we're on edge and we're waiting for that person to screw it up. And then inevitably, invariably, you're going to have something that confirms, right? Where you're able to kind of go, yeah, I knew that was going to happen. I called it. Like, but it ended up being a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's intense. Like yeah, finding a meaningful relationship that you end up having a really healthy relationship. Healthy doesn't mean feel good all the time. It means that you're both working on it and you're both trying to get better, and you're both, you know, you're both being vulnerable and you're both trying to support each other. And it both means you're both sinners, right? Period. Yeah. Hey there, Zach. Yeah, if anybody knows relationships are hard, it's Zach. They really are. But they're worth it. That's the question, right? But are they worth it? Like, is it worth being in a relationship? Some people just write them off. You know what? No, I don't want to be in a relationship. It's too hard. It's too miserable. It's too painful. Nobody is good. Nobody is going to be, you know, nobody actually cares. And it's easy to convince yourself of that. I know it's easy for me. Like, I find it very easy to simply say, everybody sucks all the time. So I quit. I'm just going to work on my own deal. Toxic streamers in their chat, they might say, hey, I'm moving to South Carolina with my family. Just kidding. They all got old and died. Dude, I mean, again, like I said, some friendships and just some personalities in general are more edgy. That's okay. Happens. Not evil or wrong. It's just the way it is with that person. Wonder that often. Is it worth it for me? Marriage is a good thing from God, but I wonder what the future holds sometimes. God knows. Just keep moving forward. Well, and there is something to be said for times of healing, right? Like you can't just jump into another one. That's not good either. Not that I'm saying you are, but like it's impossible to know when. I don't know. Maybe it's not, but I think it'd be very, very difficult to know if you're quote unquote ready for another relationship. You know, when would you know? I don't know. And sometimes you're not. I mean, and sometimes, well, no, I was going to say, sometimes it's not about whether you're ready. It's about whether your family's ready or your, you know, kids are ready or whatever. So this is a boba shop. It's, where are you? Oop. Yeah, the boba shop. I have a hard time finding you. There it is. It's cool looking. It's going to look like this eventually. At least that's the plan. Gotten that way in the dating scene. Forget pursuing the marriage life. I'll just deal with the loneliness and live my life my own way. As long as it's not coming from a bitter place, like all women suck, everybody, you know, like you can't trust anybody, then there is a certain way to be able to say, well, maybe I'm supposed to be single. But I would say you got to be real careful to make sure that your heart's in the right place and your head's in the right place to make a decision like that. Because otherwise it just comes from a, throw your hands up in the air, as opposed to, this is a decision that I'm making. I've chosen that this is the right path for me today. You're saying you pick at a Starbucks off-brand Lego building? Could be gold. No, I don't remember you sending that. No. What does the power is the tongue is life and death? Yeah, James, I thought you're talking about, yeah. The tongue is powerful. It's not good or bad. It's very powerful. Yeah, there's that too. There you go. Yeah. It's a good thing that we have powerful tongue. The word is powerful. Words are powerful. But it works both ways, right? It's like fire is powerful. It can let you get to the moon, or it can power a vehicle or cook your food, or it can destroy a house and an entire city. Not the fire's fault, it's how the use thereof. I think there was a discussion and they told me that if you say you're sick all the time, you'll be sick. You know what? Not that I believe in the, name it or claim it stuff, but there is something to be said about the self-fulfilling prophecy that if you live miserable and you look for misery and you feel, then yeah, because you're good. You could even, what are those called? The placebo effect, right? The placebo effect of where you hand somebody a medicine that doesn't work, but then you tell them it does work, and then their body makes it work, is real. That's a real thing. So obviously, it's something that happens inside of you. That's real. So yeah, I can get behind that. Not mystically so, but apparently there's something going on inside of you, psychologically speaking. Keep informing toxic streamers when violence happens near where we live, or someone murdered near my dad's house, since they told me his address in the past. Ooh. The streamer told you his address? Your parents' address? That's not cool. I agree with that, but they asked me how I was doing. I said, I see my doctor on Thursday about work and returning. My ankle is sore. He said, speak life. That's it. Like I said, there's a big difference between mysticism, foolish mysticism, that believes you can, because that's literally witchcraft. I believe that through my words I can manipulate the future and the people around me and environments and like that's just witchcraft. But there is something to be said about if you are a negative Nancy who's just always saying bad things and miserable stuff, yeah, you're probably gonna have a worse life, for sure. Or on the power of the mind. Yeah, and it's not, I think there's something to be said about it, maybe, but I don't think it's one-to-one. That's actually Christian Science. Very much like that's a Christian Science thing, which is if you can think your way, you can believe your way out of being sick. You just have to believe hard enough. I've never played a pirate game. I don't know. Yeah, manifestation. No. I don't know, man. Pirates aren't my thing. Ninjas are my thing. I play a ninja game. Careful what we put on our focus. Yeah, not because it's gonna magically make you sick. Or that's not why. But we have to acknowledge the fact that yeah, there's something to be said about it. I just don't like the idea of, yeah, manifestation is not, that's not, yeah, no, I don't like that. I don't think that's biblical. Go up to my other comment ninja. Okay, all right. I'm going. They're coming fast and furious, man. What's your other comment? Yep, my dad just typed my address into mostly Spanish speaking Atlas streamers chat years ago. Why did you do that? Oh, that was dumb. Don't do that. They did? Someone else did? Man, I don't know, man. That sucks. I admit I have a disease, not constant. Yeah, there's a big difference between complaining you have a disease all the time, admitting you have a disease, dealing with a disease, and deciding that you can just magically make the disease go away because you think hard enough or believe hard enough. Absolutely not scriptural. Self-fulfilling prophecy, just not what they were saying. Trying to figure out. It's because there's a little truth to it. You know, like a little something to be said about the fact that if you, you know, if you spend a bunch of time just being just a miserable person, you're gonna have a miserable life, and chances are you will be sicker. But that doesn't. It's not like magic. Oh, I screwed something up. Hold on. You can be. There are people who are amazingly healthy despite the fact that they treat themselves terribly, and there are people who try really hard to be healthy that are sick all the time. Not how that works. I don't know how it works. Like Lightgate and Everkillian. They are very healthy people. They eat well. They spend time working out. He lifts constantly. He's got, you know, it's not like they have a nice house. Like she's a doctor, you know, but they're always sick. It's just a thing that happens in their house, and it sucks, and I feel bad for them, but it's not like their fault. They didn't make it happen. I would never say that to them or about them. Nor do they deserve it, right? I could probably... No, I can't move that over. Looks like people who strongly believe in manifestation are going to want to understand why it isn't a thing. It's easier to believe in my words, and it takes time and hard work. Maybe it won't happen. Or that the world is unfair, or that, you know, that might not be God's will, or that, you know, God has a different plan for them than the nonstop bliss. Yep. Some people really don't like that. And so it's just easier for them to say, I've decided that everything I think and say and do is just going to come to fruition. And if it doesn't, then I'm just going to try harder, believe harder. Like, it takes all the ownership out of God's hands and puts it into your own, which, again, witchcraft. It's because you call it Jesus and Christian doesn't mean it is. Looking good so far, I think. I like it. I like it a lot. There's a singular flower that got put down somewhere. Where did it go? Oh, in the front. I don't have that. What is that? How goes the building? It's going all right, Slay. How you doing, man? Lemon. Hello, Cheesecake. Good to see you. Welcome. First time chatter. Nice to see you. Lemon. I remember I used to listen to that song when I was in high school. A weird song. When did I put that on? I don't know if I did. What? Hold on, I missed a step. There. Oh, yeah, it doesn't sit properly. Okay, cool. Oops. Where'd we go? Your ears ringing? Yeah, there was a lot of Slay talk recently. Wait, would Twitch actually ban you if you didn't redeem the Nightbot? So no, it doesn't. So where that came from was a while back. There was they were banning the bot. The actual Twitch bot was banning streamers for some reason. I actually had a friend who was banned, did nothing wrong at all, and yet somehow was banned from streaming for a whole day just because it got caught up in something. And so the way that they said that it could help to get past all the stupid bot stuff was if you had a channel to redeem that people would actually poke. So that's what we did. I shall hydrate. Fortunately, I cannot hear my alerts right now, and I don't know why. So my apologies. There is just so many pieces, but I feel like I'm gonna get done before I'm supposed to be done stream. That makes me feel good. That means I picked exactly the right size Lego set. I didn't like having to come back to the Lego set because then you're like, man, where was I? This might seem privileged, but would y'all please pray for my landlady, i.e. my stepmom, finally admits that the shower drain required professional attention. She's the type that has come to that conclusion on her own. Yeah, Lord, may you grant wisdom to the person who's supposed to be seeing this stuff. Yeah, that is an appropriate prayer. Nothing wrong with that. What the heck am I? What's my building here? Wow. Yeah, that's rough. Especially when they're the ones in charge and you can't do anything about it and you don't have the money to just kind of go, okay, fine, I'll fix it myself. You just gotta sit there and wait for them and they're in denial. That sucks. But yeah, pray for wisdom for sure. Wisdom on behalf of someone else? Is that how that works? Let's hope so. So what brings you by there? Cheese? Cheesecake frog? Cause yes. How'd you find us and what are y'all about? So offended if I did it on my own. Offended. Hey, Need of God. Good to see you, man. Offended. You should not be offended if someone decides to fix something that's broken. Does this get a sticker? I do put a sticker on this. Here's my milk tea sticker. Randomly just found the stream. Hey, all right. Appreciate it. What were you looking for to find the stream? Were you looking for Lego, or were you trying to find some kind of, like, what, did you punch something in, or was I just recommended? How did it happen? How did such kismet occur? I can do small things like that. Fingers are only good for typing. I can't do small things. Typing and smashing. Yeah, I got tiny little baby girl hands. They're handy for some things, that's for sure. Hey, that just goes there. Boop. What a nice little sign. Isn't that lovely? It's cute. They're just scrolling Twitch. Oh, appreciate it. I'm glad. So if you don't know who I am, my name is XtianNinja. Mission here is just to build a digital community that has meaning and relationship. I am a pastor, have been a pastor for 20 some odd years, and love answering questions. I also train and help Christian content creators to understand, you know, themselves, God, their audience, all that kind of stuff. So if you have anything you want to ask, that's what I love doing here. Okay, I think it's time to put whatever that is. What is that? A satellite? What are you? What are you and where do you go? Oh, you're the whole thing. I'm doing a whole thing. All right, cool. Yeah. Rally Dot. Oh, I haven't seen Rally Dot before. That's sick. That's extremely cool. How many games is running on that thing now? If we're talking about this clock up here, by the way. Data God is the one who programmed it. 14? Good golly. You got an arcade behind me. Tuning LED for 5 minutes. Oh, yeah. Good old LED, man. So silly. I love it. I love it so much. Ring. 2 rings? No, 1 ring. And then a big one. And then another big one. Gonna go for now. Have a good one, Jones. I'm off at 2. So I'll be done in about, well, as soon as I'm done building this, because I got a meeting at 2. It's like Candyland. Oh. What this? It's milk tea. It's boba. The boba shop, but it's super purple and pink. I'm a huge fan of pink stuff. I just think it's so cute. Neat though. I made a ton of Lego. So like last week we made a Walkman, like with an actual tape and a headset. Today we're just doing something simple, little milk tea. I have a set over there that's got like, I don't know, it's like 5,000 pieces. It's like a full blossom tree. I'm a little afraid of starting it because it's a lot, man. It's gonna ask a lot of me. So let me show you here. Over here, where are we at? Is a bunch of Lego sets. So I don't know if I can bring them over here. How far out of the way do you need to be? There you go. So like this one here. Like we made a little duck thing. One of my favorites is this one. Made a Game Boy that actually like has a cartridge. I think that's fun. I try to get cool ones, you know. That's the oldie moldy. That's exactly right. I let's just say I'm retro, man. I'm retro. Not old, I'm retro. It's yeah, so when I make that big one, I don't have anywhere to put it. Like I'm all out of shelves. I don't actually know what I'm gonna do with it. It's gonna be it's gonna be a beast. I don't like I'm not gonna be able to build it in one stream unless I do it during the marathon. Is it next week? Next week's supposed to be the marathon stream where I stream for an entire week, and I've already told my family. But I've said I was gonna do that a few times, and it never come to fruition. So I don't want to promise nothing. except to say that I believe I want to try. This looks like a baby bottle. Got a weird alien baby bottle. I don't know. It's certainly not boba. I don't know what it's supposed to be. Okay. And then this thing. I'm kind of impressed with how few pieces I have left over. Usually there's a lot extra. This has been very efficient. All right, so what do you do? Where do you go? You go in here. Oh, it's a little ball thing. Oh, interesting. That's gonna be a pain. All right, cool. Ah! Okay, well, that was a terrible idea. I'll try this an easier way. Wow, that really doesn't want to go in there. Come on. Come on. Did it. Hurry. There you go. Look at that. Got a little thing on it. I don't know what it is, but it's there now. What do you... Oh, there are 2 more pieces. Are there? Okay. On this side. Green. A water tank? I don't know. Maybe. I thought it would be a boba. Like, there's a whole row. Like, hold on. That's probably better picture. No, it's not. Whoop. Yeah. I have a few of those. So it's something. I don't know what it is. I think it's supposed to look like a boba. Like, but it's not. It doesn't at all. I don't know. I don't know what it's supposed to look like. Maybe it's a water tower. That's as good an explanation as any. Okay, and then I put green things. Oh, the green thing sticking out the side here, connect it to the next building. I have like... Oh no, I don't have more of this building. I'm gonna put it in there anyway, just in case. I know I'm gonna just forget it. I could take these apart and give them away. Would anybody be interested in that? Should I throw them in a box and send them to you? Anybody want them? All right, I'm gonna do this. Go put a sticker on. I don't know. Once I put together a puzzle, once I put together a Lego, I don't want to put together any other, put it together again. I'm done with it forever. Some people could put together the same puzzle over and over and over and over. When I was a kid, I had a puzzle I put together over and over and over. But not now. I got more than enough things. Milk tea. I think I'm done. That's it. We did it. Look at it in all its glory. We got cupcakes in the front. We got a really cool sign. I don't exactly know what that two purple balls are, but those are interesting. On the inside, if you look on the inside, there's actually like chairs and like a little shop inside. That's kind of fun. Still don't know what the big thing on that front is, man. What the heck? I have no idea. Cute though. I knew it was gonna be cute. That's all that mattered to me, is that it would be cute. And I only got a few missing parts. That's pretty good. I think that's a good start. Good setup. You always get a little extra. That's so it's not like I'm missing parts. Chairs are depends on what they serve, right? Those are chairs. They're not comfortable chairs, but they're chairs. They're dangerous chairs. You're gonna fall off the edge. I don't know how to get there. There's no stairs. Maybe they slingshot you up there. But yeah, nonetheless, that's it. All right, dudes. I have a meeting at 2 o'clock. I haven't eaten, so I'm gonna go head off and eat. Thank you for hanging out today. Hopefully you had some fun. I kind of like this system that we've got going where On Monday, we do a big talk. And the big talk is all about, let me start my end music. All right. Yeah, I like this thing where I do a big talk on Monday, and then we do like a sub talk that's a bit more chill with some Lego on Tuesday. Wednesday is a big day. We play a bunch of demos. I figure out some new games. I try to find some weird pictures. The intention is to give content creators some ideas. We might even watch a video about some new indie games that have come out. I've got a few ideas. It's a long stream. It's like 11 o'clock till like 7 o'clock. It's a very long stream. At least that's the intention. And then on Friday, it's long play. We come back into a game. We're gonna jump back into Pragmata because you gotta finish Pragmata. You just gotta. So I'm gonna raid out. Thanks for being here. Tell your friends. Check out my YouTube channel. We're gonna have more and more content coming out on there. Hopefully soon. But yeah, let's raid over to who we gonna raid? I don't know. Devora's on. She's got some people. Rock and roll. Let's do that. The interview with Flat Cap. Cool. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you soon. ! Substack. If you want to join the Substack.